it's funny, I've been using Ram Dass's mantra, the I am loving awareness, and when I do it,
Mm.
I like feel him. I feel him there or his presence, like that energy, and I'm like, okay, like I get it. Because imagine how many people, him aside, like how many people since then have spoken it, and like the energy field that that occupies.
Mhm.
It's a good one. It's a really good one.
Yeah, we love
I
Baba.
have,
I think I've told you this, but there's like no one that I have ever like followed or been like, I don't know, as far as like spiritual leaders or gurus or whatever, like no one has ever resonated with me. I've picked things up here and there, but I've never been like, oh, like that's the guy that, knows whatever. And Ram Dass is the one
mhm,
person where I'm just like, I listen to his podcast, his energy is whatever. Like I've never, is this true? Yeah, no, I've never read any of his books. I've skimmed Be Here Now, but like
yeah.
there's just something about him that has always spoken to me as like that guy actually got it in a way that I think a lot of other people that are like positioning themselves as people within
Yeah.
a space. I'm like, I think that there's some energy here where it's a power thing, right? Where it's like you're saying some good stuff, and then
Hmm.
there's also I'm just like I'm not picking it up. Um, but yeah, love a little
I
Ramdi,
feel
you
like,
know.
yeah, with him, it's like he strikes me as someone who integrated his shadow. And so, like,
Mm,
he is love because he loves all of himself. And so he can love all of others without any, like, hidden agenda, whether it's from, like, hiding it from others or from himself. Whereas a lot
right.
of spiritual people, I think, never integrate their shadow. And so then it controls them without them knowing or
Right.
accepting, or I guess there's so many layers, you never want to assume ill intent. I think sometimes people do know and they choose to carry on. And that's, yeah, part of the journey. You'll encounter those people.
That's something my friend AJ and I were talking about the other week when we were in Kodaikanal together. Because he had just done this Zen meditation for a week. And in that meditation, one of the masters there was talking about like gifts and powers that get opened up. This is probably a whole
Hmm.
separate conversation that we could have, but like
Yeah.
that the farther that you get down the, spiritual path, that eventually it's like you start unlocking these powers. Um Gifts, these things, that magic, all of that, but like the way that then when you realize what that is, some people are afraid of it, some people want to abuse it. Like there's so much, and everyone's, powers, whatever you want to call them, are different, but it's finding the balance of being like recognizing that like, oh no, like these abilities, these things are within me, whatever they may be, but I'm using them for the liberation of all souls, and I'm not using them to get ahead or to put myself in a position of power over people or whatever that is. And that's, I think, where a lot of people who do get really high up in kind of like, guru or spiritual leader or whatever thought leader world, it's like, oh, somewhere along the line you did this, you're in that position because you hit a spot where you recognize some of that power, that magic, that whatever it is, but then it starts getting co-opted because like we were talking about before, where it's like, well, you get to a certain level of notoriety or fame or power or like niche or whatever it is, and it's like, now maintaining that balance of like purity gets harder. um and especially once you realize, yeah, that you can kind of, I don't know, do or have whatever you want. It's like it takes a very grounded, true, pure soul to, Allah, in my opinion, Ram Dass, who also, I mean, had plenty of like like you said, shadows. Like he was a human being. There were things that he did that were not
Yeah.
perfect. But to be like, okay, no, like I'm reaching these planes, but the actual goal here, the actual path is human liberation, is liberation of all beings. It is not you know, to have the house in Malibu with the cars and the whatever it is. Yeah. And in
Yeah.
this human's humble opinion, I think that guy had that. And I
I
mean, he
think the
also
like
had like a
danger.
retreat space. Like he
Yeah.
lived on
Yeah,
Maui, like it was beautiful. But yeah,
it's
like it
true.
wasn't anyway. Sorry, you think the danger.
I think the danger is when, I mean, I'll use psychedelics as an example. Like if that's the route that someone takes to this knowledge, quote unquote, and they have this like ego death or ego disillusion, I think that oftentimes they think that that is permanent. And so they think after this, they had this
Mm,
ego death or dissolution, and now they're acting from soul. But without them even knowing it, their ego came back 10 times stronger. I know it happens for me. When my ego dissolves, it comes back way stronger because it's like we just lost our grip on reality. Like we lost control. We gotta take it back. And so people, if they don't realize that that's happening, can act from ego
mm.
and they think it's soul, they think it's source,
My
and that
internet's
is
going
danger.
funny. I don't
Because
know if you
that's
can
where
still
like
see me.
what is truly selfish, people mistake for
Dolokian.
being for the greater good. And again, there's different levels of awareness. Sometimes people, I think, know they're doing it, sometimes they don't.